And we are live. And I remember this time to show my face. Hello, hello. Celebrate your success, crew. It is a Sunday fun day. Excuse us. Excuse us again. All right, Fiona, we have seen you. You are seen, you are heard, and what you have to say matters. And we want to say thank you for tuning in this week, because it is an awesome, awesome show. And what is up with everyone this evening? My name is Erica Rose Siegel, aka your grateful realtor, and I'm coming at you live on this last day of February 2021. Yeah? Okay. At least for this year, since it's not a leap year. And we're gonna be doing and leaping into some amazing content tonight, which warms my heart because I've had the honor and the privilege of being part of a team that is helping me make big leaps around the world and making big moves, because that's what I do. I actually sell real estate around the globe. And I want to start by asking anyone who's ever made a big move in, let's just say, the past 5 years or so, or thought about making a move, whether to a new home, new relationship, new business, can you write either make your move or new home or new you in the chat? Because what we are doing here is we are creating a brand new shared experience with a very special guest tonight. And we're here to help everyone create a new home and a new you. But first, I would like to kick it over to a very special person, someone who has been like a sister to me, and who is an actual sister to, I think, 3 other siblings, but you can correct me on that. And she's a sorority sister, and to some of you, sorority sister, not to some of you, to some of you. And she's my co-host. She's my co-creator. She's my inspiration. And her name is Jasmine Yan.
Thank you, Erica, for that great introduction. Hey, celebrate your Sunday. Hey, celebrate your success Sunday night crew. It's Jasmine Yan, your super savvy shopper, which means what I do is I help people convert their spending into an earning for themselves based on their everyday shopping needs. And I have the true pleasure to come all the way from Brooklyn, New York. And you know what I really enjoy? The fact that tonight here we have an amazing speaker. We're going to be featuring the lovely Jessica Powers, who empowers individuals with creative solutions for success. And I know I'm all about empowering individuals and coming up with creative solutions. So for our crew tonight, our Celebrate Your Success Sunday night crew, if you are here and thinking about, are you desiring more space, time, freedom, and balance with your priorities and well-being? Give us a thumbs up in the chat. Are you craving deeper connections and a quality experience to meet others just like you? Say yes. Are you seeking a better way to catapult your visibility and have a voice in 2021? Say right on. And are you looking for an innovative and fun ways to foster your business development and reach? Say, yes, I am here for that. Then you have definitely come to the right show with the right person. So Jessica, I'm super excited to hear what you have to say. So if everyone is with me, right? Oh yeah, in the chat or in the comment section, if you're watching us live from Facebook or on the replay, we welcome all of you here with us tonight.
Oh yeah. Let's begin. First, let us begin tonight with a great night. Now that my computer is in the right spot and Fiona is not jumping everywhere, she's here. And if she jumps at you, that's just what she does. Say hello. No. And I would like to start by saying that I am so grateful that you are with us tonight, Miss Jessica M. Powers. And I'm so blessed that you and I met through the unblinded community. And I wanted her here because she's a legit behind the scenes rock star. Actually, she really deserves to be in front of the camera, but what she did behind the scenes during our last unblinded influence off was worth $1 billion. So I figured, why not have her give her a stage and a microphone so she could share some of her magic with all of us. So Jessica, let's take a quick couple of minutes to tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, and maybe even how you got started and how we met.
Sure, I'd love to. Thank you, everybody, for inviting me to be a guest and co-creating this episode with you. And like Erica and Jasmine mentioned, my name is Jessica Empowers, and I own my own business development company in the joint venture partnership space and brokering relationship management. And that's actually how I came to discover about Unblinded and then come to meet Erica with being on their morning episodes and then being invited with the influence off and some shared experiences. And I was behind the scenes and she found me and saw how interested I was in trying to understand this new community coming from the joint venture partner space. And so it's been a pleasure to be in a container to learn and grow with a twist on business development and fostering new relationships. So that's what we're going to be talking about here tonight.
Amazing.
So, I mean, I know, you know, that information of how you came to be here on our show, right?
And
Right? Erica, did you say something? Okay.
No, I just wanted to make sure. I know my Wi-Fi was stable, and it might still be. Guys, am I like wonky, or can you hear me?
We can hear you much better now.
Okay, that was what it was. I was like, Jasmine. And by the way, if you didn't know, now you know. I was actually stuck in Frozen earlier in the week, so it wasn't looking like physical Frozen. It was actual Frozen. Talking, couldn't find my way out of Zoom, so I wasn't sure if that happened again. And it was not live, thank God, but it was for recorded training purposes. And I just sat there with my face smiling, wanting to cry because I was actually given the microphone. And I just realized I don't know what else to do. So I'm just going to smile my way out of this. And when we finally found my way out, I cried, but hid my screen, muted my camera, muted my microphone, and then came back. And now everyone gets that recording. So now back to you, Jasmine. And if I freeze, I'll just bring Daddy in because Daddy to the rescue. And back to you.
Right, thanks, Erica. Well, Jessica, I know that's a very interesting story of how you even met Erica, right? And just being a part of where we are now today. So Jessica, I know personally I was intrigued when Erica brought you into play and asked if, hey, let's invite Jessica to be a guest speaker. So I was definitely intrigued by hearing about what you have to say and what you're doing right now to give back to the world. So I know I truly believe in creating and fostering deeper connections with my family, my friends, business partners, and who wouldn't want to know how to do that in a creative and in fun ways. Because I know sometimes when you're dealing with family, friends, business partners, sometimes it's a little, it's a little rough. So needless to say, we want to make it fun. So I know there are definitely a lot of people who need to hear what you have to say. So celebrate your success night crew, Sunday night crew. If you agree and need to know what Jessica has to say, jump into our chat or the comment box on Facebook or on the replay and write, let's connect. Because now, with that being said, Jessica, let's take a few minutes to share what tips could you give on discovering and building quality relationships, especially new relationships with our audience.
Absolutely. I think coming from 2020 and coming into 2021, people are so hungry for connection, like genuine connection with people and community, and finding what that looks like now with everything being so virtual and so many spaces and not knowing where to connect and where to be. And that's honestly where the Unblinded community really started to pique my interest, and then filtering into some of the other communities that I'm in, because people want to be safe in these spaces that they're trusting and putting their investments in to learn and grow and pivot. They want to be in these places where they have visibility and a voice to be heard, and really growing and having credibility to stand in their own when there's so much noise out there. So what I'm most excited about is helping to foster those opportunities with business development. And that can look like so many things. There's so many ways to nurture lead development and foster relationships. But today we're just going to focus on the top three tier, I would say, of how we could start. That's safe, that's relatively easy, and a great starting place for anyone just starting out or new in business and just want to find a new experience.
Nice. Well, Jessica, thank you for creating a safe place for people to be visible, for our voices to be heard, and for us to foster business relationships. Because I truly appreciate that and I acknowledge that, because it is not always safe. And I ask, if you feel comfortable, if you feel safe, to acknowledge if you've ever been in a relationship where you haven't felt safe, or you know someone that hasn't felt safe.
Definitely. There's been mastermind groups, there's been different investments. Like, it really can put a oh, is she sorry, is
Write
she
the word
wonky
safe
or
in face. Yeah. We're dad to the rescue. We're all set, right? No, dad is not good.
okay? I was like, wait.
I'll just bring my dad for the rest of my life. Guys, I promise you I'm not 6 years old, but apparently that is this answer. And my dad has never seen a show because he goes to sleep at 5:30. So we'll just pretend that he actually is in a show. Dad, thank you for coming. You used to come to my dance concerts, and now here you are. So, Jessica,
it happens.
Are you good? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, guys, if you can hear me and you're watching, how about this one? Never thought I'd ask that on a live show. As I roll my eyes, which you can't see. If you can hear me, if you can say, yes, I hear you. Anywhere where you're hearing me, can you let me know that you hear me? And if I ever go out, can you tell us in the chat, like, no here, no bueno. I'll know that you're not talking about me not being bueno, because I am muy bueno. I just want to make sure I'm heard. And Jasmine's like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? So we are going back to actually, we were up to safety, we were up to voices being heard, fostering business relationships, creating a safe container for that to happen. And here we are. And I can certainly appreciate where you're coming from. And now would be an inopportune time to drink water, but I'm going to do that for a quick second. Hold on.
And well, a segue.
It's help, right? Right. And I would love it, by the way, because we can appreciate where you're coming from. And I would absolutely love it. Yeah, great segue. I would love it if you could explain the difference, because there's different types of relationships in business. There's a joint partnership. I mean, there could be more, right? Like, if you know others, please don't think we know it all. We're learning here, right? This is a safe place for you to add value. And pop it in the chat or on Facebook if there's something else you know about as far as a business relationship. But as far as I can tell, there's 3 ways. There's a joint venture partnership, there's a referral, and there's an ecosystem merger. So I would love to know how you define an ecosystem merger. And I want to start by actually acknowledging Sean Callaghy and the entire Unblinded community, because that's where I first heard the word. And then I discovered, holy smoke, I joined a real estate company where that's built on ecosystem mergers too. So kudos to Keller Williams. And then Jasmine and I are creating an ecosystem merger in this whole experience. But going back to you, if you can take a few moments to just define joint venture, referral, and ecosystem merger in your own words, while I have a drink of water.
Absolutely. So the segue to this second question is really how relationships are formed. And it all starts with trust. No matter where you are, how you're building rapport, you have to have that trust there. Otherwise, it's really hard to know which direction to go. And there definitely are more than 3 kinds of relationships and partnerships. I happen to be coming from client care sales and then the joint venture space where they approach things a little differently. And then I've been in a lot of different networking, direct sales type formats of how networking is approached and business development in that space. And then ecosystem merging with the Unblinded community and Sean is honestly something new that I'm still filtering, because sometimes it can feel synonymous, but it's not. And it's really important to have those distinctions, because clarity and confidence in how you're approaching your deals and how you want to form those partnerships is really important. So I'll go back to just like some bullet points of how I would define some of those. So a referral, I'll just start with the base level. Most people know what referrals are. You go to a BNI group, a networking group, you get invited to something, and it's just like throwing business cards at people. You might have someone there that's an ideal person for you, you might not, and it's really just, most of the time it feels really awkward, or you're penalized if you don't give a referral. And it's not always intentional. It's just like you might know someone that kind of sort of maybe might work, and there's no accountability there. So that's like phase one that most people are used to. Not everyone is. Not, there are some legit referral partnerships that work beautifully. The next phase would be the joint venture partnership, and most people think that that is just like blasting emails to everybody's list and it's just about the affiliates, but it actually is a whole umbrella term, and there's a lot more in there where ecosystem merging actually can fit. So it's been really fascinating to see all these different puzzle pieces and have a variety of how to work with people, create introductions as a broker, and also create my own mergers, which now I'm learning is even more powerful than just a referral or a joint venture, because there's so many more ways you can win and be more efficient with your time and your resources when you have those distinctions. I might have missed something, but that's my elevator bullet points of the differences.
Jasmine, go for it. What do you
say? That's truly interesting what you're saying, but I don't know if you I didn't hear your definition of what an eco merger was, because I know that
that's right.
referral, joint venture. So I just wanted the clarity for
and
Right.
for your what you in your heart
Yeah.
feel as an ecosystem merger. And you might not know this, that Jasmine and I, after 24 shows, I think, we decided yesterday we would define what ecosystem merger meant. Like, we waited, till 4 months or 6 months. We waited 6 months into our business relationship to put that into existence, which really, is not an optimal way of doing business. So just as a side note, you probably want to create some clear distinctions when you first start. And that's a different story for a different day. I promise you there will be a show on it. And thank you for Tiffany facilitating and Eric for being in the background, in the front ground, and having your voice be heard. And now back to you, Jessica. How do you define an ecosystem merger? And it's perfect. So if you can give us like a 30-second, like, what do you think? What's it to you?
Gotcha. Well, after a month of steeping in unblinded shows at 5 a.m. and all kinds of stuff, now I guess how I would define an ecosystem merger is an intentional merger between two companies that goes way beyond just a referral partnership. It is, it's one where there's more weight and accountability and service with it, with each other, with what both people are bringing into it. And there's a formula. There's a formula in this nuance of ecosystem merging that you follow to have a more aligned experience with creating a shared experience with the two brands or businesses. My very elementary way of trying to break it down.
I think it's really important though, because people who never heard it really need to know and understand it. So I love how you explained it. Each of those terms, actually. I know that a lot of people probably have thought they all meant the same thing at a given point in time or similar things, and, aren't completely sure how they were different. I know as you were defining each of those terms, I was really listening carefully. I started thinking about how and where are all these people? Where are these people coming from, right? Where are these people coming from to form relationships, partnerships, referrals, ecosystem mergers? And you actually helped me understand and see value in creating what an ecosystem merger is versus a referral relationship or partnership. And I know Erica probably, I just want to check in with Erica because I know she probably wants to add a little bit more to what you were saying about ecosystem mergers, being a student of the unblinded formula as she is.
Yeah, we are students. So Fiona and I are students of the formula. I make the payment. She just shows up for mastery. And there's a few students on here that are also in the formula or in the teachings. And Jessica is involved in the movement and not a student per se yet. And we're all blind learning to see. So there's no perfect or right way to say it. Fiona, I'm so sorry. We're on a show. It's okay. Thank you. So what I would just like to add is that in my heart, being clear is being kind. So when Jessica was defining, accountability and it's clear on what that looks like. What are you being held accountable for? And what do you need to be held accountable? Like, what do you need from others? And equitable versus equal. This is defined yesterday in our actual in our meeting. We had a team meeting, right? It made sense. 7 months into our business relationship or so, 6 or 7 months, we'll have a meeting. And equitable and equal are not the same, right? Like you might have equal work. It's and we can go more deeply into this at another point and we can chat offline, but that's how I see is adding value, because the value you add might be different than the value that someone else has to add. And trusting in your partner, like your partner might be able, when we think of our body, and Eric brought this up yesterday, this whole ecosystem of our biology, and the eyes, their job is to see. The mouth, the job is to talk. So if you're trying to talk with your eyes and hear with your nose, it don't work. So it's trusting your partner, whatever your partner's role and responsibility is, trust that they've got this. Don't try to micromanage and let your ego and control freak get in the way. And if you've ever heard Erica's control freak get in the way, go ahead, let me know. I'm working on my ego. So you can tell me that ego is no go. You can put that in the chat and laugh at me. And most specifically, it's team building, right? Like the greatest definition is team building, actually being able to create a team and continue to foster those relationships. And now back to you, Jasmine, because I know there's more questions, and sorry for the delay with all the technology.
It's all good. I mean, thank you, Erica and Jessica, for that complete, thorough definition of what ego merger system is. So Jessica, where do you find ecosystem partners, aka your tribe, to co-create with? And also, how do you make the most of these virtual, because right now we're all doing virtual events, and a lot of people, because we're doing virtual events, they're really all about the FOMO with so many happening these days. Can you take a few moments to share that information with us?
Sure, absolutely. And I did just want to thank Erica for that, for speaking to the value add. That is like the biggest difference, because in these partnerships, it's not always about the money. Like that is an intrinsic thing that can happen sometimes in your partnerships, but that's the beauty of it. At the same time, it's not always the value we can foster and nurture, and being generous and all of that. It's been cool to see that play out in our relationship and then into other opportunities. So I love that highlight. It's great. And to the question, people are definitely overwhelmed with like so many different, sometimes there's like 3 conferences going on at once, and normally it's spaced out during the year, or they're new to being online and bringing their business online. So where I usually start is understanding where your community lives and just meeting them where they're at. It takes so much more pressure off of you if you just know, okay, they mostly live on Facebook, they mostly live on LinkedIn, they mostly live on Clubhouse or Instagram, and just picking 1 or 2 platforms to just be your home camp to do your business development, start finding those communities and get involved, and genuinely get involved. Like that's literally what I'm doing with Unblinded. I'm not part of a membership or anything, but pretty committed. Like I've been showing up to calls and different opportunities that they have. And then you organically are getting to know people that way from a common interest. So some of my best partnerships have actually come from other interests that I have, like the dance community. I love dancing or cooking, or even like Twitch shows with Critical Role. Like it's so, you never know what is someone's jam that you can instantly bond over. And sometimes in your calls, when you're setting up these business calls to have a discovery chat, sometimes it's not always about the business. Like you might connect over art or something else in common, and then that opens up a whole trust and rapport. So I would say to avoid the FOMO of just like, how do I be in 5 places at once? You can take that pressure off. You don't have to be everywhere at once. It's not like it's not like there's this little red dot that you have to stand on it, or else you're going to just miss all these opportunities. There's so many opportunities out there, and you get to decide. You get to decide what community lights you up, what is going to both nurture you, and then you can pour out into other people. And the most important thing out of all of that is just being consistent with your follow-up. That everything you need is in your follow-up. So if you don't have a system in place, it doesn't matter how many events you go to or whatever. If you lose track of who you get to connect to and don't have a good system, that makes it hard. And that's where the stress comes. That's where like the anxiety and the stress comes, because you're like, I don't know if I'll have that opportunity again. So it could look like either having your own system and you just always have your go-to list and go-to system that you create, or you can literally partner with someone who is super good at that and that's their jam, and create a joint venture or ecosystem merger there where there's a value add in that way. So it's not always about you knowing how to do everything or having all the strengths in every area of operating a business. That's actually the biggest value add I learned from the joint venture community is the upstream downstream side of approaching business, because you get to stay in your lane, you're confident, you're clear, you're excited, and you can solve genuine issues, genuine problems in your client journey by working with others that specialize in those. And then it takes the pressure off of you and everyone wins. So those are some quick tips. It could be a whole conversation because it's my jam, but quick tips.
Well, thank you for those quick tips, and thank you for sharing your jam. And we actually did some jamming out Valentine's Day weekend, and I want to make sure that, and we haven't met yet except virtually, and I want to make sure that based on staying in your strength and your confidence, and I'm going to add the word certainty, and going to whatever community, we're actually going to replace that word with ecosystem. Because if you go to a community and you're looking to foster business relationships, and I love what you said, but just kind of like taking it to another level, and she's extraordinary with the follow-up and the systems and the processes. And if you have not gotten on her calendar or figured out how to do business with her, you definitely want to connect, and you want to join us for a great jam, because we are creating actually to take the pressure off of you having to sell yourself on your own. If you notice what I am doing for Jessica right now, what I did for Jasmine at the beginning, and what I did for Tiffany briefly, and Eric, and certainly not enough, and there's plenty of other folks that are here, and I love you all, is that I'm validating and I'm edifying people, because we have created a bond of trust, and it's taking the pressure off of us having to all do this alone. And Jessica stepped in during Valentine's Day weekend to be part of to merge ecosystems with me, to take the pressure off of following up with everyone when we created this amazing shared experience where it was 3 hours, if you can imagine, on an app called Clubhouse, where we had a little competition. It was fun, it was exciting, and it was awesome. And people got to compete and share who they are in business. And we got to create a whole fun little game. And we got to understand, I have my eyes closed right now because when I'm in my zone, I literally get into my eyes closed, I think, because I get into my heart and I realize I'm on video, and that's kind of embarrassing. So I'm going to open my eyes, holy cow. And but it lights me up to see people getting so excited about their business and cheering other people on. And Jessica literally created a process to help that be seamless. And we're doing another event on March 21st. We're doing an unblinded influence off which is a place where people can hang out on Clubhouse, not to just build community, but to build business. And you can come Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, do the conversions in another state, city, town, whatever, where you can come and you can get trained on the unblinded mastery formula. Not because Sean is any better or any worse, but because this definition of ecosystem and creating value for each other so we can do business with each other and have fun shared experiences is extraordinary. And then there's something called a Real Raw and a Real Raw Open, and that can be a different conversation for a different day. And if you're not friends with me on Facebook, you can go ahead and like and love me because I'm doing one tomorrow and one on Friday. But these are all fun shared experiences, because if we're working our tushy off, and Jasmine said this yesterday, this show is important not just for us to have fun, but also for us to make money. And we're not here, number one, to make money. We're not here in any experience to make money. But it's important that if you're working your tushy off wherever you are, you're having fun, you're making money, so you can make a difference. Because the extra money goes to adding value back to the cause that matters to you. So I want to go to Jasmine for a second, how she sees it relates to her business. Then I'll come back to mine. Then we've got questions. And I know we're going a little long, and I feel like it's okay. And I also am just going to kick it over to Jasmine and then back to me while I have some water. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
that was a lot.
I actually had something to say to that with what was so special about that weekend, because this influence off was, I've never seen anything like it. And the real raw experiences of a shared experience, it's almost like it's like this whole science behind how you interact with people, because it's like a role playing, but you get to also practice in a safe place to introduce yourself and refine your story and engage people in a way that matters. But it's in this whole different variety of like feedback, because you also get feedback and all this support to improve and grow, and also kind of meet other people just like you at the same time. So I've never seen anything like it, where it's this shared experience through sort of a game, because you get to do your, it's like American Idol or something with your pitch, but not as much pressure. It's maybe I guess that could be intimidating. But what struck me the most is there is so much genuine support, and people get vulnerable, people get transparent. It sets this whole tone where in a Clubhouse room where there's like 200, we had like over 200 people in there throughout that 3-hour time frame, and you get to share your story and your testimony in a way that you might not get the chance to do otherwise. And it's not the same as just like a generic BNI meeting or a pitch like that. It's a power statement. It's a story of who you are, and being able to engage people in that influence. So growing in your influence to make an impact through that platform, through that style of a shared experience. So that's what the Real Raws are like. I got to participate in one myself and was so nervous, but they make you feel so amazing afterwards, because they genuinely give you feedback of how to improve your communication, improve your confidence, and really they want to help you win. They want to help you be visible and have your voice heard where it matters and what you're meant to be doing in the world. So that was such a gift to see how that happens behind the scenes, and we want to give that gift to you. So I have a form. Want me to drop the form in the? I
actually did it for you, so you're all set. Yeah, this is what we call adding value to each other. I took care of that. So, and then I'm gonna kick it back to Jasmine, and I'll make sure that everyone on social media gets it too with our team. We've got Tiffany, we've got Eric. There are our hands on the Facebook, or our fingers on the Facebook, whatever that's called. And I'm gonna go back to Jasmine about how she can talk. And thank you. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, because that is so true. And she isn't getting paid to say this, folks. Neither am I. This is like a real, genuine, real raw experience about her experience. Sponsored by, yeah, Unblinded. And we're students of the formula, and then creating relationships just like this. So I want to go back to Jasmine in your business. Like, you're not on the calls. You're not in,
No, I'm
but
not. I'm
yeah,
not.
but see,
But going back to what Jessica was saying, because I want to make sure that our time we close up because it's getting late. My takeaways, I definitely would have to say, Jessica, based on what you were saying with your experiences, definitely I could see it pertaining to my business as a shopping consultant. You know, the way I work with my clientele and how I support and work with my business partners, I think is really key, because you want to make sure that if you're building a business with someone, or even just building a relationship with your clients, that you have that trust, that support, that making sure there's that clear communication, the trust, the team building, and making it fun is so important, because I think a lot of people lack fun nowadays, especially during the pandemic, because everyone's rush, 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 get this done, get this done, get this done, that sometimes there's no peaceful harmony within the relationships that you're building. So I definitely know that I appreciate what you were talking about, and it just reminds me and keeps me grounded in knowing that no matter what kind of relationship it is, to have that peaceful, harmonious relationship within that partnership is so important, because that's what's going to help grow any one of our businesses and have it skyrocket. So thank you.
yeah. And Jasmine, I'm gonna add to our business, because this is a business that we are creating here, and we're celebrating your success being in business, not just our success of being in business,
Mm-hmm.
not just me being a realtor, Jasmine being a shopping consultant, but your success of being in business. So by creating a world where we can come together in harmony, and we can add value to each other, and we can co-create a fun shared experience, and we can have the opportunity to influence each other to want to do business together and feel safe to like say something like, hey, I don't feel good about that. That felt yucky. Or, hey, that's amazing. Or, you know what? I need some help in this. And me being a realtor who helps people move anywhere in the world, and not just physically, but also emotionally, spiritually, financially, in my business, in our business, because I'm in the business of saving lives. That is what I do. And it happens to be through real estate. And I'm in the business of training realtors on how to be in the business of saving lives. It is what I do. And I just happen to sell real estate. And I can do it anywhere in the world. And so thank you for creating this safe container for us to be here with you. And I know we have some questions, and just, I'm so grateful.
This is our time for our brief Q&A.
Yeah.
For our show. So let's ask Jessica 1 or 2 questions really quick, because we do have an after hours for our audience. Just FYI, like I said, if you have questions, you can ask Jessica during our private Q&A after the show as well. And if you're watching on Facebook Live and want to go behind the scenes with Jessica Empowers and learn how to flex your influence muscle and create an optimal ecosystem merger, now would be a good time to register if you're not already in the room with us. Okay. So is there anything, Eric or Tiffany, is there anything in our chat or on Facebook, a question for Jessica?
We got questions, girlfriend. We're ready.
All right. So go ahead, Tiffany.
So, yep. Hi, everyone. So one question is, what is the best opening question you can ask when meeting someone new for networking?
Mm-hmm. Jessica, can I actually switch a word? Because I love the question. If the person wants to.
I love the question too. It's just, yeah, go for it.
You want me to answer, or I can do it, or you can do
Yeah,
it?
go for it.
All right. I was told if someone gives me the microphone, I should take it. So I'm going to take it, and Jessica will add anything else behind the scenes, because she's great with blind spots. How's that? So networking, we're actually going to shift to ecosystem merging, because a network is 1 + 1 = 2. I do real estate. You're a shopping consultant. That's all we do for each other. That's what a network is. An ecosystem merger is, I do real estate. You're a shopping consultant. I also love animals. I have a family I care about. I'm committed to selling a minimum of 1 million homes in my lifetime to eradicate domestic violence. I want to find a loving partnership with a significant other called a man. And I want to grow people's business and train and educate them. And Jasmine also is not just a shopping consultant. She loves her family. She loves her friends. She wants to create time, freedom. She wants to be able to not work. She wants to play and give and grow and get paid for it. And I know there's more, but I know it's important for her. So if I know her better, then I could actually create a relationship with her. Not let me buy a house and let me buy a sweater and thank you, like a transaction. But instead we're creating a shared experience, like in this moment. And then I also know that the best opening question is actually to ask, like, how are you? And then maybe like, how are you really? Find out what their problem is. Or Olga Savalov and I were just talking about this. What's the solution you can create for them? Because if you're the solutions creator, they want to do business with you. And so whoever's asking that, I'd love to speak more into that because I'd like to know the problem you're looking to solve or the solution you're looking to create. Because I know that myself, Jessica, and this entire movement would be more than happy to serve you. So if you want to DM me, if you don't feel comfortable, it would be an honor and a privilege to help. And then Jasmine, there was another, I'm sorry, not Jasmine, back to Jessica. There was another question for you and just making sure that we honor the time. So we're actually going to Tiffany, who has a second question. If that person didn't have the whole and complete answer, if they could make sure they see me.
Or stay after. For the
right, stay after, and we'll make sure to take care of you because we're going to sign off in a moment. And then Tiffany, what's the other question, if you don't mind?
And I actually think it would be great if we continue this in the after hours Q&A, and that way folks who want to stay and continue with this discussion and get Jessica's incredible expertise and experience in this, stick around, but we also want to recognize the time integrity as well.
Thank you, Tiffany.
We're working on it.
All right, so just before we end, share this video and the link to register for our upcoming shows. We're definitely creating and innovating different shows for different people who want to see different things. So number 2, share your wealth. We know that tons of you have a plethora of knowledge, so please reach out and let us know how we can put you to work. And number 3, share our link tree. Our Linktree link is Linktree/Celebrate Your Success. And let's schedule a meet and greet for anyone who has real estate needs anywhere in the world, or anyone who wants to convert their spending into an earning for themselves. And of course, be sure to schedule a free consultation with Jessica. So we can put that information in the link as well. Share your questions or resources, feedback, whatever you want to hear more of. It takes a village to create this, and this is a passion project that requires everyone to participate. So also, we're looking for Clubhouse moderators, individuals who have iPhones. So please, if you do and want to be our moderator, let us know. And back to you, Erica.
Jasmine has no idea what Clubhouse is, so we're going to go, at some point Jasmine will understand what that looks like and she will know what a moderator is. But yes, we are looking for moderators so we can get this out to more people, because Jasmine is such a value add, and I want to make sure, whoa, I just lost you guys on Zoom. We're here, sorry, I got lost in space. We are back, so sorry about that, but I laugh every time. And yeah, I want to say thank you for every single one of you who's here live on the replay, or yeah, I guess that would be it, live or on the replay. There's nowhere else you'd be. You wouldn't be anywhere else, you'd be with us, clearly. So thank you for that. And thank you, Jessica Empowers, for being here with us. And
thank you for having me.
Of course. And then also thank you for Eric and Tiffany, just for doing whatever it takes to make this show a smashing success. And my name is Erica Rose Siegel, in case you actually know it is actually possible that you can't see it, because there are people who physically can't see. So yeah, my name is Erica Rose Siegel, and I'm also known as your Grateful Realtor. This is Jasmine Yan, your super savvy shopping consultant, signing off for now, but not forever, and going behind the scenes to talk exponentially awesomeness with our crew. And we look forward to seeing you next Sunday on March 7th at 8 p.m. for our Celebrate Your Success Sunday series, where we share all things you don't know that you need to know about creating a new home and a new you. Our fabulous guest joining our village next Sunday is Sarah Chung, who helps women who struggle with self-acceptance, finding self-love, so that they can feel and have more joy in their life. And the Influence Off also happens to be March 21st. If you didn't register and you don't have the link, you can find your way home by coming back to me or commenting somewhere. We'll get it to you. And I can't wait to see Sarah. Like, if you're excited for Kara, you should definitely invite her because I don't know who she is. But I like to see Sarah as well. You should definitely come register. And we will see you next time. And everyone else, stay for the special treat behind the scenes and say goodbye to our live audience. Until next time, we love you, and go ahead and celebrate your success with us next week on next week's show.